Babes, every single night, this television program somehow manages to absolutely restore my hope in true romance while simultaneously proving that, like, every single human being on this planet is exactly one conversation away from complete and utter chaos.
Oh, it is a terrifyingly thin line between finding your soulmate and completely dismantling your own psychological stability for the entertainment of millions.
It really is. Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And babes, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Snark Squad. We are so ready to spiral tonight.
We are officially on deck, and I have to make a very quick, very important announcement before we get into the absolute mess that was this episode.
Tell 'em.
The red sangria is officially back in our glasses. Shout out Barefoot Wines. And just to be completely transparent, this is not a sponsored moment.
Oh, absolutely not sponsored. We wish.
Right, we are not getting paid to say this. The wine is simply elite because, analytically speaking, adding floating fruit to a beverage just tricks the human brain into perceiving a higher socioeconomic status.
Bestie, it is the official drink of summer. Like, the moment you take wine and you float some chopped up apples in it, it automatically elevates it. It becomes classy.
I mean, it does mask the price point incredibly well.
Exactly. I don't care if I'm sitting on my couch in sweatpants screaming at 22-year-olds on a screen.
Oh.
If I have fruit floating in my glass, I am a lady of luxury.
It is the scientifically perfect beverage for watching messy reality TV. It just is.
And we are, like, so fueled right now, Snark Squad,
Uh-huh.
because we just had the most amazing dinner.
We really did. We found this tiny neighborhood ramen spot, and it completely altered my evening.
Changed my life. The
Mhm.
giant bowls, the cozy steam everywhere, the music. I literally felt like I could happily live there forever.
It was a very highly optimized environment.
I got the rich tonkatsu ramen with extra noodles, the soft egg, and so much chili oil. I was honestly getting emotional over the broth.
Well, you cry over everything, but the broth was exceptional. I went for the spicy miso ramen with the crispy chicken and extra green onions.
Oh, and we shared the pork gyoza.
The gyoza and the courage, which, frankly, is the optimal fuel for dissecting human behavior. Ramen is genuinely one of life's greatest inventions.
Period. But okay, enough about our culinary perfection. It is time for another round of our favorite game. Shady, snarky, or stupid.
Because, Snark Squad, some of you are honestly messier than the islanders living in the villa right now.
You really are. You are out here in the real world living so recklessly. We asked for your confessions, and babes, you delivered.
We have 3 listener-submitted confessions about your own dating and relationship drama, and we are going to judge you accordingly. Are you ready for confession number 1?
I am bracing myself. My heart is already palpitating. Hit me.
Okay. Confession 1. I am secretly going on a date next week with my friend's ex-boyfriend. They broke up 6 months ago, and he slid into my DMs.
Oh my God, no. Absolutely not. Babes, where is the loyalty?
I knew you were going to scream.
Where is the girl code? You cannot cross that line. It doesn't matter if it has been 6 months or 6 years. That is forbidden territory.
See, you are reacting entirely with your heart.
I am emotional just thinking about your poor friend finding out. The betrayal she is going to feel when she realizes the 2 people she trusted are sneaking around behind her back. It makes my stomach turn.
Okay, take a breath. Let's break down the logistical reality here. Why does someone do this?
Because they're shady.
Well, yes, but it usually stems from a scarcity mindset combined with proximity attraction. This guy has already been vetted by the friend, which reduces the perceived risk of the dating pool.
I don't care about the risk pool. It's wrong.
But the execution is deeply flawed. The DMs were slid into, a clandestine plan was made. You are actively hiding it, which means your internal moral compass knows it violates the social contract of your friend group.
Exactly. If it wasn't wrong, you wouldn't be keeping it a secret. You would have called your friend and asked for her blessing.
Precisely. Logistically, this is a ticking time bomb. It is the destruction of a social safety net for a highly volatile, low-yield return. You are risking a long-term platonic investment for a short-term romantic gamble with a depreciating asset.
A depreciating asset? Oh my God, you were ruthless.
It's just the truth, my verdict. This is pure, unadulterated shady.
I agree completely. It is shady and honestly stupid. Because you will get caught. You always get caught.
Go.
Okay, give me confession number 2. Let's see if our listeners can redeem themselves.
Confession 2. I am currently talking to 2 different guys at the exact same time, letting them both pay for dinners, because technically nothing is official with either of them.
Okay, wait. Hear me out. I am actually going to defend the hustle here.
Oh, of course you are.
Listen to me, babes. If there is no ring on the finger, and there has been no formal sit-down exclusivity conversation. You are a free agent.
That is a terrible justification for leading people on.
You are navigating the market. Let them take you to dinner. Secure the bag, eat the expensive pasta, live your life. Why should women limit their options before a man is actually committed?
I am so tired of this argument. Listen to the underlying mechanics of this situation. The shade isn't in dating multiple people. The shade is in the asymmetrical information distribution. If Guy A doesn't know about Guy B, and they are both investing time and capital under the assumption that they are the sole applicant, that is a deceptive business practice.
But they haven't asked. If they don't ask, she doesn't have to tell them.
That is an omission of truth based on a technicality. She is keeping them both on the hook because she likely has an avoidant attachment style.
Okay, doctor.
I'm serious. By dividing her attention between two men, she never has to be truly vulnerable with either of them. She uses the ambiguity of nothing is official as a shield to protect her own ego. My verdict is undeniably shady.
Oh, you are reading it for filth right now. I was going to call it snarky and a power move, but when you put it like that, using dinners as an emotional shield is a little dark.
It is entirely dark.
Fine, let's hear the last one. I need something lighter.
Confession 3. I have been pretending not to see a guy's text message for 3 whole days just to seem mysterious and in demand.
No, sweetie, I am cringing. Think about the actual anxiety you are causing this poor man.
It is incredibly immature.
3 days. In the year of our Lord, where every single human being has their smartphone permanently glued to their palm, he knows you saw it. He knows you are playing a game.
It is the most played-out, archaic strategy in the history of modern romantic dynamics. The wait 3 days rule died alongside flip phones.
Wait, hold on. Let me push back on this. What if...
Where we go?
No, listen. What if it is actually a highly calculated, snarky power move? What if she is reclaiming her time, forcing him to sweat a little bit?
Silence is not a power move.
Maybe he sent a really dry, low-effort text, like wide, at 11 p.m., and she is actively punishing him. That is snarky. That is setting a boundary.
A boundary is communicated. Silence is not a boundary. It is a void. We are not defending the delusion tonight, honey.
I just think she's making him work for it.
Leaving someone on red for 72 hours to manufacture a fake aura of mystery doesn't make you look in demand. It just makes you look disorganized or emotionally manipulative. Furthermore, you are relinquishing your own power. For 3 days, you are obsessing over not texting him, which means he is completely controlling your mental real estate without doing any work.
Wait, the mental real estate argument just won me over. You're right.
Exactly. He has probably already moved on to the girl from confession number 2, who is actively letting him buy her dinner. The verdict is stupid.
She is sitting there sweating while he's probably playing a video game. Okay, fine. You win. Babes, enough about our own mess. Let's head into the villa.
Yes, because the psychology we just discussed is nothing compared to the absolute meltdown we witnessed on our screens tonight.
Let's pour another splash of sangria and unpack this slumber party of chaos.
The layers of dysfunction are truly staggering.
Let's set the stage. The episode picks up right after the recoupling. The couples are set, and we have to talk about these pre-challenge villa vibes. Because the awkward pillow talk was physically uncomfortable to watch.
Let's start with Corbin and Kenzie. I genuinely need to take a deep breath before we discuss the behavioral anomaly that is Corbin.
She is sitting there on the daybed, giggling, entirely fetishizing his quote-unquote big hands.
It was so hard to watch.
And she brings up the fact that he's 22 years old, and she actively, unironically calls herself a cougar. Babes, she is 24. I was screaming at the television.
It was profoundly uncomfortable. But what is truly fascinating analytically is Corbin's complete and utter lack of substance and how Kenzie's desperation for a connection just masks it entirely.
She is practically begging him for a personality trait.
She is throwing out these bizarre, flirtatious lifelines. And he immediately pivots to trauma dumping his fantasy about being blindfolded, tied up, and having things done to him on day 1 of a new pairing.
Right. Like, sir, this is the Wendy's. You literally just met this girl in a romantic capacity, and you are immediately dropping your extreme handcuff kinks into a casual afternoon chat by the pool.
There was zero transition.
None.
It is a textbook example of false intimacy. Reality television environments strip contestants of normal social pacing. They are isolated, sleep-deprived, and cut off from the outside world.
So they just lose their minds.
Exactly. It induces a panic response where they try to accelerate the bonding process. Corbin doesn't know how to be genuinely emotionally vulnerable, so he substitutes actual intimacy with shock value. He confuses kink dumping with character depth.
And Kenzie completely bought it. She was eating it up. She was like, oh my God, wow, blindfolds, tell me more.
It was giving manic energy.
She wants so badly for him to be this deep, dark, romance novel character. And he is literally just a 22-year-old who doesn't know how to read a room.
It does raise a very important conspiratorial question, though. Is Corbin a producer plant who somehow got a leaked memo that a literal blindfold challenge was coming that exact night?
Finally.
Or is he just a massive anomaly who accidentally manifested his exact fetish into reality?
Honestly, with the way these producers work, it could be both. They probably heard him talking about it in his casting tape and built the entire challenge around it just to see what he would do.
Highly likely. But speaking of awkward attempts at connection, let's move over to the nail salon. Bryce and Trinity.
Yes. Okay, I have to admit, I swooned a little bit.
Of course you did.
I did. There is something so incredibly intimate about sitting there, having a guy hold your hand, carefully file your nails for you, just talking quietly. It felt very domestic.
Until he opened his mouth.
Well, yes. Then Bryce, entirely unprompted, casually drops that he spent $4,000 taking an ex-girlfriend to the Dominican Republic for a date.
Unbelievable.
$4,000? My jaw was on the floor.
See, this is where you and I diverge. You swoon at the aesthetic of domesticity and the sheer weight of the price tag. I'm looking at the strategy.
What strategy?
He's just rich.
What Bryce is doing is called peacocking with capital. I'm sarcastically pointing out to you that the internet, the fans, the Snark Squad online, all completely agree that Bryce is incredibly boring.
He's quiet. Some guys are just quiet.
He is vacant, honey. That $4,000 flex, that is a distraction technique. It is a smokescreen to hide a severe lack of personality.
Oh, wow. He is signaling to Trinity, I may not be able to stimulate you intellectually, but I can provide immense financial security. He is trying to buy her ongoing interest because he knows he cannot maintain it with conversation.
Oh, that is so bleak. But wait, Trinity looks so impressed. She was smiling, leaning in. Do you think she's genuinely into him, or is she playing a game?
Trinity is displaying phenomenal situational awareness. She knows exactly where the cameras are, and she knows she needs a secure ticket to stay in the villa.
So she's faking it.
She might not be attracted to Bryce's personality, but she is highly attracted to the safety he provides. She is faking her interest purely to survive the week.
That is so shady. But honestly, I respect it. A girl has to do what a girl has to do to make it to the finale.
Okay, what about Bea and Gabriel? They try to have this forced, deep conversation on the beanbags.
Where Gabriel essentially admits to having previously dated a woman 18 years older than him, which developmentally is jarring for a guy in his early 20s.
Jarring is exactly the word. It suggests a dynamic where he is comfortable being taken care of, rather than being an equal partner.
And poor Bea. You can physically see the wheels turning in her head while she listens to him. She is processing the math.
All right.
And she correctly identifies, out loud to the girls later, that Gabriel is completely hollow.
She nailed it.
He is literally just using her as a placeholder. He's kissing her, he's holding her hand, but his eyes are constantly darting toward the villa door, just waiting for a bombshell to walk in.
It is the classic good enough for now strategy. Gabriel is exhibiting textbook branch-swinging behavior. He gives Bea exactly enough physical affection to keep her complacent.
So she won't dump him.
Exactly, ensuring she won't leave him vulnerable to elimination. But he offers her the emotional depth of a puddle. He's maintaining a baseline of compliance while actively scanning the horizon for an upgrade.
It's so insulting. It is psychological torture to sit across from a man trying to build a connection while you can literally feel him mentally looking past your shoulder.
It's cruel.
But then, to contrast that completely, we have Anaya and Casey. Babes, I am rooting for them. I am. This is my couple.
Oh, here we go.
Casey is looking at her, maintaining heavy, uninterrupted eye contact, and he calls her the blueprint. He says she is everything he has ever wanted. I got emotional. It felt like a genuine romance.
I need you to put down the sangria, step back from the romanticized narrative, and look at the behavioral data.
What data? He loves her.
Is Casey actually smitten, or is he aggressively love-bombing her to secure his spot as the fan-favorite untouchable couple of the season?
Love bombing. He was just giving her a compliment.
The blueprint is a heavily workshopped phrase. That is not something a man spontaneously invents while looking into a woman's eyes on day 3. It sounds fantastic on television. It is designed to be clipped and shared online.
You are so cynical.
I am questioning the authenticity of a man who drops a line that heavy that early. By placing Anaya on a pedestal as the blueprint, he actually removes her humanity. He turns her into a trophy he has successfully acquired.
Stop ruining this for me.
And psychologically, once a man feels he has completely secured the trophy, he often feels liberated to start looking around again.
You are destroying my hope. I refuse to believe it. He was practically vibrating with excitement around her. He looked like a man who had just won the lottery.
We will circle back to Casey's vibrations and his behavior later, when the paint comes out, because that blueprint speech is going to age like milk left in the sun.
Fine. Let's finish the pregame analysis with Sincere and Melanie.
This was undeniably the messiest chat of the afternoon.
Sincere pulls Anya aside, not Melanie, his actual current partner, but Anya, to complain and seek advice. He is confiding in her that his friends warned him back home to never like a girl more than she likes him.
He is terrified of the power imbalance.
Exactly.
Which is incredibly revealing about Sincere's fragile ego and his deep-seated insecurities. He is projecting his absolute terror of rejection onto Melanie.
He is operating from such an anxious space.
He masks it with this aloof, analytical exterior. But by complaining to Anaya, he's preemptively trying to control the narrative. If Melanie hurts him, he wants to be able to say, see, I knew it all along. I told Anaya this would happen.
He is self-sabotaging, and meanwhile, Melanie is absolutely stringing him along. She chose him at the recoupling, sure, but she is keeping one eye completely locked on Corbin just in case.
The handcuff guy.
Yes, she is the definition of boy crazy. She wants the validation of Sincere's loyalty, but she wants the thrill of Corbin's unpredictability.
It is the anxious avoidant trap playing out in high definition. Sincere is sitting there hyper-analyzing every single micro-expression Melanie makes. Melanie senses that suffocating energy which makes her want to pull away.
Which only confirms Sincere's fears.
It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the producers, who are essentially evil geniuses, recognize this dynamic instantly. Because right at the peak of this tension, they sent the text to get ready for the slumber party.
Oh my God. The lingerie slumber party challenge. Let's set the scene for the listeners who might have blacked out from the sheer cringe.
Let's analyze the physical environment first, because the production value was a critical component of the psychological breakdown that followed.
It was insane. They built this massive, custom, oversized bed out by the pool. It looked like a mattress designed for a giant. Everyone is mandated to wear matching white outfits.
White lingerie and white boxers.
It looks very angelic, very pure, which is hilarious considering what is about to happen. And then the host, Ariana Madix, walks in. Babes, I loved her look. The styling was so fun and chaotic.
I'm going to have to throw a substantial amount of shade at the styling team here. What was happening with that hair?
I thought it was cute.
It was giving early 2000s MTV reality show Bump It. It looked like she was hiding a small rodent under the crown of her head. It distracted from the gravity of the instructions she was delivering.
I thought it was camp. Anyway, Ariana lays out the rules, and it is beautifully devious. The boys are securely handcuffed to the headboard of this giant bed. They cannot move. They cannot speak.
And the girls are completely blindfolded.
Right. And before they start, each girl is covered in a specific bright neon color of body paint.
The objective is simple in theory, but incredibly complex in execution. The girls have to navigate this massive bed purely by touch, instinct, and kissing to find their specific partner.
And when they find him, they handcuff themselves to his wrist.
But here is the genius mechanism. Because they are covered in thick, wet paint, they leave a literal, undeniable forensic trail of evidence of exactly who they touched, who they lingered on, and who they kissed.
It is brilliant television. So the blindfolds go on, the whistle blows, and the girls start crawling. Let's talk about Trinity's strategy first, because you brought up her spatial awareness earlier, and it was on full display here.
It was classy, it was targeted, and it was highly efficient. She did not waste time getting lost in the sensory overload. When you remove a person's sight, especially on a reality TV set, it removes the panopticon effect.
The what?
The panopticon. It's the feeling that you are constantly being watched, which usually forces people to regulate their behavior. Blindfolded, people often feel a false sense of privacy and lose their inhibition.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Trinity, however, maintained absolute focus. She felt her way to Gabriel, gave him a very quick clinical test kiss to identify his jawline, moved to KC, test kiss. Checked Zach, test kiss.
And the absolute second she found Bryce, she stopped. She didn't linger. She executed the mission and locked herself in. It was like watching a sniper operate.
Exactly.
And Anaya. Babes, I have to praise my girl Anaya. She showed so much restraint and respect for Casey. She didn't kiss a single other guy on that bed. Not one.
She relied entirely on feeling their faces and shoulders.
Yes. She found Casey, locked it in, and that was it. A loyal queen. She proved that you don't need to sample the buffet if you know exactly what you ordered.
Anaya maintained exceptional object permanence and emotional regulation. She respected the boundaries of her relationship. And then, well, we have Melanie.
Oh my God, Melanie. I cannot even think about her without my blood pressure spiking.
I need to break down Melanie's behavior analytically because it was a masterclass in unhinged, self-destructive chaos.
Unhinged is the perfect word.
She is blindfolded. She knows the stated goal of the game is to find Sincere word. Instead, she turns this mandatory team-building exercise into a hedonistic buffet. She doesn't just do test kisses. She makes out heavily with Casey.
Not a peck, heavily.
She kisses Zach. She randomly bumps into Trinity in the middle of the mattress and makes out with her.
I screamed. She kissed another girl just for the plot. It was pure chaos.
It is a demonstration of hyperarousal and desperate validation seeking. She is chasing dopamine hits in the dark. And then, the piece de resistance, she finds Corbin, kisses him deeply.
The handcuff guy.
She finds Sincere, her actual partner, kisses him. And then, instead of handcuffing herself, she proceeds to repeatedly go back and forth, crawling over bodies, ping-ponging between Corbin and Sincere.
Making out with both of them.
And she is doing this literally right in front of Sincere's fully open, unblindfolded eyes.
He was watching her kiss another man, inches from his face. The absolute disgust radiating off of Sincere. I was emotionally spiraling on my couch. I was yelling at the screen, Melanie, what are you doing?
Sincere's ego was fracturing in real time, broadcast in high definition.
You are fumbling a good, stable man for 5 seconds of screen time.
The humiliation of being publicly discarded while physically restrained to a bedpost fundamentally alters a person's psychological baseline. Melanie was asserting absolute dominance by humiliating her partner.
Whether she realized she was doing it or not.
Exactly. But the producers, in their infinite malice, weren't done. While the original girls are fumbling around like paint-covered toddlers, we get the ambush.
The bombshells. The music changes. Ariana secretly signals, and while the girls are still blindfolded, 2 brand new women crawl onto the bottom of the bed. We have Saul, 24, from California with his gorgeous pixie cut, and Jen, a stunning blonde from Florida.
What is truly fascinating here is the psychological warfare the producers employed with the props. They assigned Soul a secret, hyperpigmented red paint color that none of the original girls had.
It was so bright.
This gave her an implicit license to completely bypass the established rules of the game. She wasn't looking for a partner. She was looking to cause maximum structural damage. She crawled right up to Corbin, to Sincere, and to Casey, and just started aggressively making out with them.
Leaving bright red smears across their faces, necks, and chests.
And Jen didn't even care about the pain. She just caused pure spatial chaos. Poor Kata is crawling around blindfolded, completely lost, and Jen is just swerving around her, kissing all the guys right under her nose.
Kate is touching legs, getting confused, saying, who is this? And Jen is just collecting kisses like infinity stones.
Finally, the whistle blows, the game ends, the blindfolds come off.
The reveal. Oh, the drama of this moment. The original girls rip off their blindfolds, and for one solitary second, they are so happy. They are cheering, yay, we did it, we survived.
And then the silence falls.
They look up.
The visual processing kicks in. They see 2 gorgeous, unmarked, perfectly styled women sitting at the foot of the bed, and then their eyes drop to their partners.
Bien immediately spots the bright red paint.
She looks at her own hands. She looks at Gabriel's face. The math is not mathing. The cognitive dissonance is instantaneous.
And Anaya. Babes, my heart shattered for Anaya. She looks over at Casey, her blueprint man, the man who gave her that beautiful speech just hours ago. And he has a massive, undeniable, glowing smear of bright red paint covering his entire neck.
It looked like a crime scene. This is exactly what I meant earlier about the red paint being a stroke of producer genius. If they had used clear lip gloss, Casey could have lied.
He absolutely would have lied.
He could have gaslit Anaya, saying, oh, she barely touched me, I pulled away. The red paint removes all plausible deniability. It forces a confrontation.
And this is where Casey makes a fatal error.
A fatal analytical error. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Anaya is glaring at him, waiting for an apology. And Casey, in a moment of sheer nervous panic, chuckles, grins, and says out loud that he feels, quote-unquote, blessed by the bombshell attention.
I wanted to throw my sangria directly at the television. How phenomenally stupid can men be?
Astoundingly stupid.
When the woman you supposedly adore is staring daggers at you because another woman's bodily fluids are actively drawing on your neck, You do not smile and say you feel blessed.
Anaya immediately checked him.
She didn't yell. She just completely iced him out. Her face turned to stone. The vibe plummeted to absolute zero in a microsecond.
Casey just detonated his own relationship via an arrogant misread of the room. It instantly unionizes the workforce against you, all that goodwill. The blueprint speech, it was all completely erased in one single sentence.
It was so hard to watch. But wait, because just when the girls think the psychological torture is over, in walks Caleb.
The male bombshell, 21 years old, a tall country boy from North Carolina. The final piece of the producer's puzzle.
And Melanie loses her absolute, ever-loving mind. She is literally screaming at the top of her lungs, jumping up and down on the mattress, while physically handcuffed to Sincere.
She is cheering for another man while tethered to her partner.
Sincere's face. If looks could kill, Melanie would be buried under the fire pit. He looked like his soul had left his body.
It was an astonishing display of disrespect. It showcased a staggering lack of empathy. And Caleb, to his credit, understood the assignment perfectly. He walks down the line of handcuffed couples and kisses every single girl.
He kisses Kenzie, and it is a lingering, intense kiss. And then he gets to Kata, who has been quietly coupled up with Zach. Caleb leans in, and Kata completely, instinctively wraps both of her legs tightly around Caleb's waist during the kiss.
A leg wrap?
I was screaming. The absolute betrayal to Zach. He is standing right there, handcuffed to her, forced to watch his partner physically wrap herself around a new arrival. And then, right at that peak moment of chaos, the program literally cuts to black.
It was a masterful cliffhanger. But I have to interject here because the psychology of that final moment requires examination. Melanie and Kata actively disrespected their partners. Wrapping your legs around a new arrival while your current partner is chained 2 feet away is an aggressive escalation.
Let me push back. I am defending the girls on this one.
I knew you would.
Babes, listen to me. They were just matching the energy. The men just sat there and happily let Saul and Jen make out with them, and Casey had the absolute nerve to say he felt blessed.
That doesn't justify it.
The girls were humiliated. They were just reclaiming their power when Caleb walked in. If the boys can enjoy a bombshell and rub it in their faces, so can Kata. Respect the hustle. She saw an opportunity and she leveled the playing field.
That is certainly a passionate defense of chaotic behavior. But scientifically, it is flawed. It is not female empowerment, honey. It is competitive mate poaching triggered by the artificial scarcity of the villa.
Oh, whatever.
Kata's leg wrap was an involuntary biological response to the female bombshells asserting dominance over the men minutes prior. She was desperately trying to reestablish her own desirability. It was an ego preservation tactic.
Okay, when you use words like biological response, you make it sound so clinical, but fine. I see your point. It was messy.
Yeah.
Which leads us perfectly into our next breakdown. Let's formalize where everyone currently stands. It is time for the Villa Power Rankings.
Let's assess the structural integrity of these pairings. First category. The couple most likely to survive this absolute bloodbath of an evening.
It has to be Anaya and KC, right? I know I was mad at him, but they have the strongest foundation.
Analytically speaking, despite the leg wrap incident, I have to put Zach and Kata at the top of the survival list.
Zach and Kata? Are you joking? She just humped a country boy in front of him.
Look at the behavioral data. Zach has a bizarrely high tolerance for chaos. He watched her do it, and he barely flinched. And Kata's physical reaction to Caleb, as I just explained, was a knee-jerk competitive response, not a genuine desire to leave Zach. They have a weird foundational stability.
No, I am completely disagreeing with you. I am getting incredibly defensive over Anaya and KC right now. You have to put them at the top.
Honey, you're blinded by the romance.
Before the paint incident, they were undeniably the strongest. He called her the blueprint. One stupid, nervous, blessed comment isn't going to sink a ship that sturdy.
Casey's wandering eye is a glaring data point. The moment a new stimulus was introduced, he didn't turn his head away. He leaned in, and then he verbally praised the experience. That is an implosion waiting to happen. Anaya respects herself too much to tolerate that.
Okay, speaking of implosion, I think we have unanimous agreement on our next category. Couple most likely to implode.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Melanie and Sincere. It is mathematically guaranteed.
It's done. Put a fork in it. Sincere's face when she jumped up for Caleb. The relationship died in that exact second.
Exactly. Sincere's ego is his defining characteristic. Melanie's behavior publicly humiliated him on a catastrophic scale. Sincere's pride will not survive another hour of her wandering eye. He will preemptively cut his losses and dump her tomorrow morning just to save face.
It is tragic, but it is entirely true. Okay, next, biggest flirt. Who is taking this crown?
It is a close statistical race. You have Caleb, who literally kissed the entire lineup of women the moment he walked through the door.
But I have to give it to Melanie. Caleb was instructed by Ariana to kiss the girls. It was part of his entrance. Melanie kissed everyone while completely blindfolded, with zero instruction to do so. She's an agent of chaos.
I will concede that point. Melanie's indiscriminate dopamine chasing was unmatched. Next category, biggest delusion.
Oh, this is tough. Is it Kenzie, who genuinely thinks Corbin is a deep soul just because he shared his handcuff fetish? Or is it Bea, who thinks Gabriel isn't going to literally sprint toward Soul the moment the sun comes up?
It has to be Kenzie. Bea is not entirely Delulu. She has a creeping suspicion that Gabriel is hollow. She vocalized it. Kenzie, however, is operating under the profound delusion that Corbin's lack of filter equates to emotional vulnerability. Confusing a boundary-violating kink for character depth is peak dangerous delusion.
That's so true. It's sad, honestly. Okay, final ranking. Secret MVP of the evening.
The producers who made the executive decision to give Saul the highly pigmented red paint.
Give him an Emmy. Give them a raise. It was a brilliant manipulation of the environment. They left a literal, physical trail of evidence. God bless reality TV producers.
It was a tactical masterpiece. Which brings us to our next point of analysis. Let's look at the specific choices these islanders made and judge them according to modern communication standards. It is time for text them or block them.
Okay, babes, you know how this works. We look at the absolute worst behaviors from tonight and we decide, do we text them back, leave them on read, block them immediately, or accidentally, like an old Instagram photo from 2019, and disappear forever? Let's get into situation one.
Situation one. Melanie ping-ponging back and forth between kissing two different men while her actual partner watches from 2 feet away. What is the communication verdict?
Oh, this is a tough one.
Block immediately. This is not even a debate. Her actions demonstrate a profound lack of respect. If a partner does this to you, you sever the connection. You block across all frequencies.
Bestie, no, you don't block. Blocking is letting them off the hook. You accidentally, like an old photo from 2019, just to keep the drama alive.
You are deeply unwell.
You let her know you were watching, you let her sweat, and then you ghost. It is about psychological warfare. You have to win the breakup.
I worry for your future partners. Situation 2. Casey telling his visibly angry partner that he feels blessed to have been kissed by a brand new bombshell while covered in red paint.
Leave on read for a week. You leave him on read until he is literally begging for a response in your DMs. Make him sweat out that blessed comment.
See, leaving him on read is too passive. It gives him an excuse to say, oh, she must be busy. I say you text back, but purely to start an argument.
Ooh, I like that.
You reply with a single lowercase thumbs up emoji. The psychological damage of a single thumbs up emoji to a guilty conscience is devastating. You draw out the conflict and gather data on his defense mechanisms.
Ooh, a thumbs up is lethal. That is so cold. Okay, situation 3. Corbin trauma dumping his handcuff and blindfold fetish on day 1 of recoupling, completely unprompted.
Unanimous agreement here, I hope. Block immediately and potentially notify the authorities, or at least a therapist.
Block. Block across all platforms. LinkedIn, Venmo, Pinterest, Spotify. Block it all. Get away from that man.
And finally, situation 4. Kata wrapping her legs around the new male bombshell, Caleb, during their first kiss while her partner Zach is standing right there, chained to the furniture.
Text back. Babes, respect the hustle. She saw an opportunity, a tall country boy with great hair, and she physically committed to the bit. I am texting her back. Get it, girl?
I am leaving her on read. Poor Zach is right there, processing visual trauma that he will need years of counseling to unpack. The leg wrap requires a mandatory cooling-off period. Leave on read until she learns to regulate her competitive arousal.
We are so divided tonight. I love the mess. You hate the mess. Okay, let's transition. Babes, I have a theory. If this villa was a modern corporate office, OSHA would have shut it down yesterday for toxic exposure. So let's open up the files. It is time for the Love Island HR department.
Let's assess the workplace violations and see how modern romance mimics late-stage capitalism. First up, who gets written up first by human resources?
It has to be Melanie. She's creating a completely hostile work environment for Sincere. And let's not forget the liability. She non-consensually kissed Trinity during a mandatory team-building exercise. She is a walking lawsuit.
A formal warning in her file, absolutely. Next violation. Who schedules unnecessary meetings that could have easily been an email?
Sincere. Sincere is pulling on IS side for these long, drawn-out one-on-one performance reviews to analyze his own relationship with Melanie instead of just talking to Melanie. Sir, this is not a synergy sync. Just break up with her.
It is pure calendar bloat. He wants the appearance of productivity without doing the actual emotional labor. Next file. Who is filing the anonymous complaints?
Oh, B, for sure. Bree is the queen of the suggestion box.
Correct. B is filing reports daily. She complains to the girls in the break room about Gabriel's lack of depth, but she never actually confronts him directly or takes decisive action to terminate the contract.
And finally, who somehow gets promoted to upper management despite causing every single problem in the office.
Corbin. He contributes absolutely nothing of value to the organization. He brings weird vibes to the water cooler, yet somehow multiple women are fighting over him. He is failing upwards in spectacular fashion simply by existing.
Wait, I have to push back here. Corbin might be failing upwards, but Anaya is the actual unappreciated HR manager of this entire villa. Everyone comes to her office to vent. She carries the emotional weight of the entire cast. She deserves a massive raise and a corner office.
She is carrying the uncompensated emotional labor of the entire organization. That much is mathematically true. All right, before we wrap up our analysis for the evening, we have one final critical piece of business. It is time to draft our flags.
The red flag draft. Okay, I will go first. Babes, my green flag of the evening goes to Trinity. Having the spatial awareness to know exactly where her man was on a giant, chaotic bed while completely blindfolded. That is focus. Green flag.
A solid strategic pick. My green flag goes to Anaya. When Casey made that idiotic blessed comment, she didn't smile politely. She didn't let it slide. She immediately checked him. Setting firm boundaries in the face of public disrespect is a massive glowing green flag.
Okay, my yellow flag. Proceed with caution. I have to give it to Casey's over-the-top compliments. Calling Anaya the blueprint so early on. Is it genuine, or is it a script he memorized to ensure he gets screen time? I'm watching him closely. Yellow flag.
My yellow flag goes to Bryce and his $4,000 Dominican Republic date. Dropping massive financial flexes early in a relationship is almost always a smokescreen to hide a fundamental lack of personality. Yellow flag, rapidly approaching red.
And now, my giant waving red flag. Gabriel's dead-eyed stare while B was practically begging him for emotional depth on the beanbags. He's just staring at her, blinking slowly, waiting for the conversation to end. Terrifying red flag.
And my red flag goes to Melanie. Specifically, jumping up and down, cheering at the top of her lungs for a new bombshell, while physically handcuffed to the man who literally just chose to save her from going home 24 hours prior. The absolute lack of empathy is a fundamental character flaw. Red flag.
We have drafted, we have judged, we have analyzed the psychology, and we have spiraled completely out of control. What a breakdown tonight.
It was a masterclass in human messiness and ego destruction. But now, it is time to turn the conversation over to the Snark Squad.
Yes. Babes, we need to hear from you. We have some very important questions for you to answer in the comments. First, what is your ultimate go-to ramen order? We need recommendations for next week.
Second, out of the 3 listener confessions we analyzed at the top of the show, which one do you think was genuinely the messiest? And let us know if my behavioral verdicts were correct.
Third, we need an official legal ruling from the squad. Is barefoot red sangria officially the drink of the summer? Because we think yes.
And finally, the most important question. After the absolute unmitigated disaster that was the lingerie slumber party, which couple are you actually rooting for to survive the week?
And babes, I want to leave you with a thought to keep you up tonight. A little provocative puzzle for your brain. If Kenzie jumps ship to be with the country boy Caleb, and Saul uses her red paint magic to steal Corbin, who does Sincere end up with? Because you know he is not staying with Melanie after tonight. Who is left for him?
The variables are shifting rapidly. It'll be fascinating to watch the fallout.
Thank you all so much for showing up, drinking wine with us, and being beautifully, unapologetically messy.
Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this analysis with the messiest friend in your group chat. They need to hear this.
Stay flirty, stay delusional, and we'll see you on the snark side.